WLVT-TV presents an encore broadcast of the Lehigh Valley Chamber Orchestra under the direction of Donald Spieth.
It's a charitable organization whose contributions provide support for educational, cultural, health, and community programs in the Lehigh Valley. Funding is also provided by Lehigh Valley Bank. Lehigh Valley Bank provides student loan plans for undergraduates, graduate students, and parents of students, as well as a full line of regular banking services. Our name says it all. The series is also made possible by Channel 39 School Services participating districts.
WLVT-TV presents Scholastic Scrimmage, a weekly program featuring teams from Lehigh Valley High Schools in a contest of quick recall. Tonight's teams are from Emmaus High School and Parkland High School. Your host for Scholastic Scrimmage is Harry Price.
Good evening and welcome to Scholastic Scrimmage. We're going to meet the teams and the coaches, then we'll begin the contest. First, from Emmaus High School, Todd Butler, a junior. Cheryl Neese is a junior. Eric Levy is the captain, and Eric is a senior. Chris Arndt, a senior. The coach is David Roper, teacher of English. From Parkland High School, Conrad Chu, a sophomore. John Vincent, the captain, is a senior. Keith Schleicher, a junior. Todd Garber, a junior. And the coach is Barbara Travaskis, teacher of social studies. Channel 39 is pleased to announce that at the conclusion of this series, after the championship contest next June, the Air Products Foundation will present a $1,500 scholarship award to the championship high school and a $750 award to the runner-up school. Remember, the answers to the questions on Scholastic Scrimmage require rapid recall of factual information and aren't necessarily indicative of academic training. The rules for the contest are as follows. On toss-up questions, you will be given 10 points for a correct answer, but 10 points will be deducted if you answer incorrectly. If you do answer incorrectly, then the opposing team will have an opportunity to answer without penalty. They'll receive 5 points for a correct answer in this situation. Of course, each correct answer to a toss-up gives you the opportunity to answer a bonus question without penalty. Team members may confer only on the bonus questions, and the answers to these questions should be given to me by the two team captains, John and Eric. A buzzer will signal the end of the contest. If it sounds while a question is being asked, the game stops. If you're in the process of answering a question, you will be permitted to complete your answer, but no bonus questions will be asked. Are there any questions? If not, we'll begin the contest with our first toss-up. We're looking at a 10-point bonus question. For 10 points, identify the New England metalsmith and patriot whose exploits were celebrated. It's Parkland. Conrad.
Paul Revere.
Correct. They were celebrated in a famous poem by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Paul Revere's Ride. Paul Revere is the question, or the answer. Bonus 10-pointer, John, for you and the team. For 5 points apiece, name the countries in which the mouths of the following rivers are located. Your first river is the Nile.
Egypt.
John?
Egypt.
Correct. The Rhine.
Belgium. Germany. All right. Okay. Belgium.
John?
Belgium.
Incorrect. It would be the Netherlands. It's the longest river in Western Europe. It flows across Switzerland, West Germany, and the Netherlands to the North Sea. 1 out of 2, John, for 5 points. Another toss-up looking at a 15-pointer. For 10 points, name the modern American poet and novelist whose books include The Centaur. That's Parkland. John.
John Updike.
Correct. The Centaur, Couples, and Rabbit Run. The author is John Updike. Here's your 15-point bonus again, a bonus for the Parkland team. These famous Americans have middle names as familiar as their first and last names. For 5 points each, you identify the missing middle names. First one, John Astor.
Beechwood.
John.
Beechwood.
Incorrect. It would be John Jacob Astor, and he was the organizer of the fur trade in the 1800s. Henry Beecher.
Henry Beecher. Henry Beecher.
John.
No response.
It would be Henry Ward Beecher, Ward, W-A-R-D, 19th century clergyman. George Clark. John.
No response.
No response. It would be George Rogers Clark, American general during the Revolutionary War. Here's your toss-up, looking again at a 10-point bonus. An atom of heavy hydrogen has an atomic mass of 2. Emmaus, Eric.
Deuterium.
Correct. What's the more usual name for heavy hydrogen? You're correct. Bonus, 10-pointer, Eric. The chemical formula for water is H2O, while carbon dioxide has the formula CO2. I'm going to name 2 more important chemical compounds, and for 5 points each, you give me their chemical formulas. First one, methane. Eric.
CH4.
Correct. Sulfuric acid. Eric.
H2SO4.
Correct again. Here's a toss-up. It's a visual toss-up. We'll be on the monitor. I want you to simplify that expression. That's Parkland. Keith.
2I.
Incorrect. Over to Emmaus. Eric, your light's on.
8I.
8I is correct. Got 5 points on the rebound, Emmaus, and here's your bonus, a 10-pointer. You might want to use paper and pencil for this one. Y is a linear function of x. According to this function, when x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. When x is equal to 3 1/2, y is equal to 5 1/4. By extrapolation, tell the value of y when x is equal to 8. Eric.
No response.
No response. The answer is 12. Go on to another toss-up, preparing for a 10-point bonus. The Vatican has issued in draft form a directive which would give it greater control over Catholic colleges and universities in the United States. Among the American Catholic theologians and educators opposed to such a change in policy is the Reverend Theodore M. Hesburgh. For 10 points, over what American university does Hesburgh preside? Emmaus, Cheryl.
Notre Dame.
You are correct. The University of Notre Dame, and Father Hesburgh did announce his retirement, set for June 1987. It should be noted that his retirement isn't related at all to his disagreement with over the directive. Your bonus, a 10-pointer. The New England colonies of the 17th century were places of great religious fervor and debate. 2 theological leaders of importance were actually banished from Massachusetts Bay Colony. For 5 points apiece, identify first the woman of spirit. It's Eric. You're going to have to go.
Anne Hutchinson. Hutchinson.
Yes. We will accept. It is Anne Hutchinson. It's the woman of spirit and wit who was banished for preaching antinomianism and threatening the authority of the church. Now I'm going to give you the second. The radical minister who argued that civil magistrates had no right to rule upon matters of conscience and founded the community of Providence after his banishment. Eric?
Williams.
Roger Williams is also correct. You got your 10. Again, we're looking at a 10-point bonus. This word has several meanings. Here's your toss-up. In mathematics, it refers to a change in the sign of the curvature of a curve. For 10 points, identify this term, which can also refer to a change in the pitch of a speaking. Parkland, Todd.
Amplitude.
Incorrect. I didn't quite finish. It's a toss-up, no conferring, please. Cheryl, your light has come on. I'm going to have to ask you for the answer.
Modulation.
Incorrect also. Again, identify this term, which can also refer to a change in the pitch of a speaking voice. It's inflection. We'll go on to another toss-up. Going for a 10-pointer. This warm ocean current usually develops off Peru in late December, but sometimes... Emmaus, Chris.
Gulf Stream.
Incorrect. Over to Parkland, I'll read it. This warm ocean current usually develops off Peru in late December, but it sometimes it originates much earlier in the year. It can cause significant worldwide weather disturbances. I want you to give me its Spanish name.
Don't confer.
No response. It would be El Nino. El Nino, which means the child comes in December, usually. Another toss-up. Art visual. The work being shown on your monitor was created by an important English artist who's considered a major English poet. He wrote The Tiger. 10 points. Emmaus, Eric.
No response.
No response. Over to Parkland. I've read the question. It would be William Blake. The title of that painting is Pity. Again, William Blake, he wrote The Tiger. Another toss-up. For 10 points, on what gulf of the Mediterranean Sea is much of the shoreline of Libya located? Emmaus, Chris.
Sidra.
Gulf of Sidra is correct. 10-point bonus, Eric. The East African nation of Ethiopia has been much in the headlines in recent years because of the terrible famine which has occurred there and in other nations bordering the Sahara Desert. Ethiopia has common borders with 4 countries. One of them is the tiny nation of Djibouti. For 5 points each, name 2 of Ethiopia's 3 other neighbors. Eric.
Somalia and Kenya.
Correct. The third would be the Sudan. Sudan. You have your bonus. Going for a 10-point bonus. Toss-up. Give me the first and last names of the Victorian poet who married the poetess Elizabeth Barrett and moved to Italy in... Emmaus, Cheryl.
Robert Browning.
Robert Browning moved to Italy in 1846. Bonus for your team, Eric. It's 10-pointer. One of the more notable English poems of the 17th century begins with the following lines. Drink to me only with thine eyes, and I will pledge with mine. For 5 points, who authored those lines? Eric.
Browning.
No, it would be Ben Jonson. I want to give you a shot at the second part for another 5 points. What female first name appears in the title of the poem?
Cecilia. Try that.
Eric.
Cecilia.
Close. I can't give it to you. You said Cecilia. It's Celia. The full title is Song to Celia. Going for a 10-point bonus. Toss up. For 10 points, if a wave has a frequency of 200 kilohertz, how many microseconds are there in one period of the wave? No response on that. It would be 5 microseconds. Another toss-up. A right circular cone is divided into 2 sections by a plane which is parallel to the base and halfway between the base and the vertex. For 10 points, what's the ratio of the volume of the larger section to that of the smaller section? Emmaus, Eric.
3-1.
Incorrect. Over to Parkland. Keith.
1-3.
Not 1-3. It's 7-1. The ratio of the volume of the larger section to that of the smaller section. Think of the cones. Ratio of volume would be 1-8, and you're cutting off 2 sections of the larger cone. 7-1. Okay, we're going to take a halftime break now with the score at half. 45 for Emmaus and 5 for Parkland High School. During our halftime of the first round, we always ask our contestants to share information with us about their families. We're going to begin with Todd Butler of Emmaus High School. Todd?
Okay, my mother is the Director of Community Relations at the Child Guidance Center, and I have a sister who attends Ira Junior High School in the Emmaus area, and she's in 8th grade.
Thank you, Todd. Cheryl Neese.
My father is on disability retirement from Mack Trucks. My mother works part-time at the Mack Credit Union, and my brother Steve is a sophomore at Emmaus.
Thank you, Cheryl. Captain Eric Levy.
My mother's a research chemist at Lehigh University, and my father's an analytical chemist at Bell Labs. And I have a brother, Ari, who's a junior at Washington University in St. Louis.
Thanks, Eric. Chris Arndt.
My father's a data processing systems analyst at Mack Trucks, and my mother works part-time at Lay's. And my brother's a sophomore at Emmaus High School, and I have 2 sisters who are in the 6th grade at Jefferson School in Emmaus.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks to Emmaus. Let's go to Parkland. Conrad Chu.
My father's the manager at United Co. Research Corporation. My mother is assistant programmer at Lehigh University, and I have a brother in 8th grade at Springhouse Junior High.
Thanks, Conrad. John Vincent, the captain.
My father's a physician, my mother's a homemaker, and my brother's presently attending Johnson Technical Institute.
Thanks, John. Keith Schleicher.
My father works for Air Products. My mother works for Prudential. I have an older brother who works for Decca Battery. I have an older sister who works for Tramco. I have an older brother who's an electrician, and I have a younger sister who's in the 7th grade at Troxel Junior High School.
Thanks, Keith. And finally, Todd Garber.
My father's an electrical engineer at PP&L. My mother's a secretary at the Jewish Day School, and I have a sister in 8th grade at Springhouse Junior High School.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks to Parkland. Again, halftime, we're 45 for Emmaus and 5 for Parkland. We're going to begin the second half. It's going to be a monitor question. Whoops, it is not going to be a monitor. We're going to begin the second half with the toss-up. And we're preparing for a 10-point bonus. For 10 points, name the French medical facility, which is one of the world's main centers for research on AIDS and other viral diseases. It's the Pasteur Institute, which is centered in Paris and founded in 1888. Another toss-up. For 10 points, give me the exact second-person plural form of the future perfect tense of the verb to guess, G-U-E-S-S. Parkland, Todd.
You will have guessed.
You are correct. And your bonus, John. I'm looking for two words that begin with the letter U. I'll give descriptions for 5 points each. You give me the U words that fit these descriptions. The first one. This adjective means present everywhere. John?
Ubiquitous.
Correct. This verb means to seize and hold power, position, or authority by force or without right. John?
Usurp.
Usurp is correct. You got your 10. Toss up, looking at a 10-pointer. For 10 points, give me the biological term for any one of the finger-like extensions that can be produced by an amoeba or other. Parkland, Conrad.
Cilia.
Incorrect. Over to Emmaus. I have a light on from Todd, and I'm going to have to go with you, Todd.
Pseudopod.
Pseudopod is correct. I would have read that again. I had not quite completed. That can be produced by an amoeba or other single-celled organism. Pseudopod's correct answer. You have 5 on the rebound, Eric. Your bonus. There are many processes involved in the weathering of rocks. For 5 points each, give the geological terms for the two processes I'm going to describe. First one, the weathering of rocks by reaction with carbonic acid. Eric.
No response.
Carbonation. Carbonation. The second one, the breaking away of shells or plates from rocks, which leaves them with a rounded appearance. Eric.
Erosion?
Not erosion. It would be exfoliation. Exfoliation. We'll go to another toss-up. Again, looking at a 10-point bonus. It's a mathematical toss-up. For 10 points, how many integers are there which are greater than a negative pi, but less than pi? Emmaus, Eric.
6.
Incorrect. Over to Parkland. Keith.
7.
7. -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3 is 7. 10-point bonus on the monitor. If the inscribed angle theta measures 26 degrees, what's the measure of intercepted arc y?
13. 52.
John.
52 degrees.
Correct. Going for a 10-point bonus. During the late Middle Ages, this is your toss-up, during the late Middle Ages, about 80 cities and large towns, mostly on the shores of the North or Baltic Seas, banded together for purposes of protection and trade. For 10 points, what was this association called? Parkland, John.
The Barbary Coast.
Incorrect. Over to Emmaus. It's a toss-up. Chris.
Schmalkalmic League.
Incorrect also. It's the Hanseatic League. The Hanseatic League. Another toss-up. Looking again at a 10-pointer. This question is based upon Clement Clark Moore's beloved ballad, A Visit from St. Nicholas. For 10 points, exactly what goes into the blank? The children were all nestled snug in their beds while visions of blank. Emmaus, Chris.
Sugar plums.
Correct. Danced in their heads. Here's your bonus, a 10-pointer. It's rather wordy. Listen carefully, please. Edgar Allan Poe wrote the following poem called The Bells. Hear the sledges with the bells, silver bells. What a world of merriment their melody foretells, keeping time, time, time in a sort of runic rhyme. To the tintinnabulation that so musically swells or wells from the bells, 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 from the jingling and the tinkling of the bells. I'm glad I got through that. First, for 5 points, what two figures of speech are prominent in this particular poem? Eric.
Simile and metaphor?
Incorrect. Onomatopoeia, words, creating words from sounds, essentially, and alliteration, repetition of sounds or words. For an additional 5 points, 4 or 5 points now, what Russian composer wrote a cantata based on that poem? Eric?
Rachmaninoff.
You are correct. Sergei Rachmaninoff, the Russian composer. Going for a 10-point bonus. It's a listening toss-up. Listen to the excerpt. Emmaus, Eric.
Nutcracker Suite by Tchaikovsky.
Incorrect. Will not accept. Now you heard the, and this is for Parkland, it's a rebound, no conferring. You heard the excerpt. The selection we just heard is a waltz from Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite. I want you to name the waltz. Conrad.
Waltz of the Flowers.
Correct. You have 5 on the rebound, Conrad. And John, here's your bonus. Since its invention early in the 19th century, it helped millions of practicing musicians to make steady progress. For 10 points, what's the name of the adjustable device used to establish a desired tempo with its ticks?
Metronome.
John.
A metronome.
Correct. Another toss-up. Again, 10-point bonus. The Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution provides or operates a miniature research submarine which has been used for more than 1,500 dives since 1964. For 10 points, what is that mini-sub's name? Emmaus, Todd.
The Alvin.
You are correct. It's Alvin. We're going with a bonus. It's a 10-point bonus. It's for you, Eric, and the team. I'm going to read the chemical formulas for 2 important chemical compounds. For 5 points each, you give me the names by which chemists most frequently refer to these 2 compounds. Here's the first one, HNO3. Eric.
Nitric acid.
Correct. NH4OH. Eric.
Ammonia water.
We're not going to accept that. Ammonia water. It's ammonium hydroxide, which is the common terminology for that particular formula. Going for a 15-point bonus, your toss-up. The word jodhpurs refers to breeches commonly used for horseback riding. For 10 points, and no correcting yourself once you begin. Parkland, Conrad.
Jodhpurs.
I wanted you to spell jodhpurs correctly, and you did it. Bonus 15-pointer. I'm going to define 2 words which have the same pronunciation but different spellings. You can earn 5 points by correctly giving the pronunciation, and an additional 5 points, John, each for correctly spelling the words. The words I'm looking for are as follows. An adjective meaning hard or insensitive, and a noun meaning a hard, thickened place on the skin. 5 points for pronouncing the word. John.
Callous.
Correct. 5 points for each of the spellings. First, an adjective meaning hard or insensitive.
Are you sure? This one?
John?
Callous.
And second, a noun meaning a hard, thickened place on the skin.
Sure.
John?
Callus.
You're correct on both counts, on all 3 counts. Another toss-up. Looking at a 10-point bonus. In December 1986, Vice Admiral John M. Poindexter, who recently resigned, was named as President Reagan's National Security Advisor. For 10 points, give me the first and last names of the individual that he replaced. Emmaus, Eric.
John McFarland.
Incorrect. Over to Parkland. I have to finish the question. This person took a clandestine trip to Iran to establish contacts for the possible releases of the American hostages. And Conrad, your light's on. I'll go with you.
Robert McFarland.
You are correct. John was given over here. John McFarland was not correct. 10-point bonus. The French and Indian War began as a struggle for the control of what valley?
St. Lawrence River Valley.
John.
The St. Lawrence River Valley.
Incorrect. It would be the Ohio River Valley. George Washington went to Ohio River Valley in 1754 to force the French troops to withdraw. War ensued. Going for a 10-pointer. Toss-up. In the Winnie the Pooh stories, who owned Winnie the Pooh? Emmaus, Cheryl.
Christopher Robin.
Correct, Cheryl. Bonus 10-pointer. I'll mention 2 British authors and describe a famous novel by each of them. For 5 points each, give me the correct titles of the works. First, Charles Dickens' story of a young man's discovery of the realities of adult life. Eric.
David Copperfield.
Correct. Emily Bronte's only novel, a romantic masterpiece whose principal character, male character, is named or called Heathcliff. Eric.
Wuthering Heights.
Correct again. You've got your 10 points. Toss-up. It's going to be on the monitor. What is the length of the line segment joining those 2 points, 8, -2, and 310? Parkland. Todd.
13.
13 is correct, Todd. It's a mathematical bonus question. I want you to listen closely. 2 positive integers have a sum of 15 and a geometric mean of 6. Name them.
Got him? Come on.
No response on the bonus. The 2 numbers are 3 and 12. Another toss-up for 10 points. Name the Mediterranean port that is Spain's 2nd largest city. Emmaus. Chris.
Rhoda.
Incorrect. Over to Parkland. Keith.
Barcelona.
Barcelona. Madrid's the largest city. Bonus 10-pointer. John. 5 points apiece. Name the modern countries in which each of these historical and archaeological sites are located. The Parthenon.
Rome would be the cities. Athens. Okay. Country.
John.
Greece.
Correct. Angkor Wat.
Thailand.
John.
Thailand.
Incorrect. It would be Kampuchea is the modern name of Cambodia. Toss-up, going for a 10-pointer. The Old Testament tells us that the father of Isaac was Abraham. Who was the father of Jacob and Esau? Emmaus. Eric.
Isaac.
You are correct. 10-point bonus, Eric. I'll define 2 words, each of which starts with the letters A-L. For 5 points each, you identify the appropriate A-L words. A medieval combination of chemistry, magic, and philosophy. Eric.
Alchemy.
Alchemy is correct, whose goals included turning base gold metals into gold and silver. A large kind of tuna fish. The question has been asked. Chris.
Albacore.
Albacore is also correct. No bonus question is going to be asked. The buzzer has sounded. The final result is 85 for Parkland High School and 80 for Emmaus. Certainly one of the most outstanding contests we've ever had. Emmaus, always strong. We congratulate you for doing so well. You're young. You're going to have 2 people back. Todd, you'll be back. Cheryl, you're going to be back. Eric, good luck in college. Chris, good luck also to you in college. Parkland, we congratulate you. And we're going to see you back here again in the 2nd round. You're going to play the winner of next week's contest, which is between Deerfield and Freedom High Schools. You'll be in the 2nd round, be mid-March. Again, congratulations. This is Harry Price. Thank you for being with us, and good night.
Funding for Scholastic Scrimmage is provided by the Air Products Foundation. The foundation is supported by donations from Air Products and Chemicals Incorporated as a charitable organization whose contributions provide support for educational, cultural, health, and community programs in the Lehigh Valley. Funding is also provided by Lehigh Valley Bank. Lehigh Valley Bank provides student loan plans for undergraduates, graduate students, and parents of students, as well as a full line of regular banking services. Our name says it all. The series is also made possible by Channel 39 School Services participating districts.